Well, hello everyone and welcome back. My name is Daphne St. Clair Ferguson and I'm so excited to be talking all things Little Eden. This is so exciting. If you could introduce yourself to our little camera audience and tell us a little bit about your role on this production.
Sure. Hi, I'm Charlie Ford. I am the producer, writer, performer of Little Eden. I've been working on it for about a year, and we're so excited to bring it to the Toronto Fringe.
Wonderful. So tell us a little bit about what this show is about, and just give us the story.
Right. So, Gabriel is a young guy. He wakes up in the middle of the night having these horrible nightmares, and he's sort of trapped in this old house of his dead grandfather. And through the length of the play, he's kind of trying to come to some sort of conclusion of what he's supposed to do with his life now that his grandfather has moved on and left him behind all by himself here.
Right. So lots of questions that he has, I'm sure.
Certainly.
And so, talk to me a little bit about the progression of this piece. How long has this been in development, and how has it expanded from where it once was as a little seed?
Right. So I started working on it about a year ago. And the script has evolved as scripts do. It's seen lots of drafts, but each time it's gotten clearer, and the character's gotten clearer, and the world has become clearer, and now we've come to something really quite special with it, and it's taken on a new form entirely, and we're really excited to show you what we've got in store here for this.
So cool. Now, you're from Nova Scotia, correct? So I'd love to hear a little bit about how maybe your experience there has influenced some aspects of the piece now that it's in Toronto.
Certainly. So when I was a teenager, I worked for the Mermaid Theatre of Nova Scotia. They do touring productions for children. Puppets. They make puppets,
So cool.
And it's wonderful, and it's such a cool and unique skill set, and it's an entirely different world. But one of the things that it teaches you is discipline with the performance as well, and physicality, and trying to find that in your body somehow, and trying to find creating worlds with your body, and with rhythm, and with pacing, and these things are often not really thought about in maybe a typical kitchen drama or something like that. So when you take something like that and you apply it to a script like this, where it's one character talking at you for 40 minutes, it creates really quite a different vibe. It's a different world, and it's really curious. But yeah, thanks, Mermaid Theatre.
Thank you, Mermaid Theatre. Now, can we expect to see any puppets in the show at all?
You know what? Not puppets specifically, but puppet adjacent. Some of the objects in his room are things that he likes to interact with and play with, and he plays with them in a way where they come to life a little bit. So it's really
cool.
interesting.
So how do you? I'd love to hear about how you bring these trinkets to life.
There's lots of different things happening in Gabriel's head. Gabriel is the main character. Lots of different things happening. Lots of questions being asked. Lots of life being relived in the moment. Lots of exploration. And as these nightmares that he's having are coming to life, these things around him are also reminding him of who he was before or where he's going, and or people in his life too. So as he starts to interact with these things, they start to come to life, and this world starts to come to life around him. And is this him? Is this ghosts? What is this? It's lots of things happening there.
Very cool. Now, are there any ghosts of your past that are within this piece?
Well, certainly.
Got it.
Well, yes. No, a couple years ago, my grandfather passed away, and I wasn't very close to him, but he had just sort of come back into my life, and quite suddenly passed away. And trying to process that, and trying to process how I was supposed to feel about it too, proved to be very difficult.
Right.
And that's where this story, this character, this world came from. Is as I'm trying to piece together what my relationship with him was or was supposed to be,
Right.
Gabriel is kind of doing the same thing, and trying to figure out where he goes from there now, and because when he passed, there were seismic shifts in my life,
Right.
and things that I could never have expected happened, and the same is very true for Gabriel. even though he's fictional and it's a fictional world, etc. But yeah.
But at the same time, I mean, it's your creation coming from you, and so I'd love to hear a little bit more about the healing through art.
Sure. It's interesting, and grief manifests in many ways. And I touch on this a little bit in the show. He's kind of trying to figure out how he's supposed to feel now that he's gone, and what that grief means to him.
Right.
Which is still something that I'm trying to figure out. It's still something that I'm trying to process. But this is the thing, when and externalizing it like this as well, and creating a caricature of all of those fears and insecurities that I had, and really blowing it up to the max, and creating this sort of crazy guy who's trapped in his bedroom. And it gives you a chance to play with those emotions a little bit, and see, what am I supposed to feel? What am I supposed to believe? And Gabriel's a great way to play with that a little bit.
Where they live. I love that. Now, if you could talk to me a bit about the production. I saw there's some music composition, correct? And so talk to me a little bit about how the production design has elevated this piece.
Yes, absolutely. So we have an original score composed by a wonderful jazz musician, composer, pianist, U of T student, Jesse Saul. He sat down and he recorded an hour of music for us.
Wow.
So the whole show is underscored. There's music running under the whole show. So everything is sort of choreographed around this wonderful jazz piano score that was composed by Jesse Saul. So with that, and then the lighting is based around the music too, and a lot of the movement is based around the music. It's really an amalgamation of a lot of different artists coming together and really getting a chance to experiment and play and put it all together and see what comes out of it.
So neat. Talk to me. This is your first Fringe show, correct? What have you learned through this experience? And I mean, hopefully, if we get in again, would you do the Fringe again? What have you learned? What are you taking with you onto wherever you end up?
Right. I think it's taught me patience. Is one thing. But also adaptability, and being able to say, okay, maybe this won't work. Maybe this is a little too ambitious. Let's see what we can do to adjust this and make the best of the situation that we're in. Because you're moving really quick. You're moving really fast in a Fringe. We're moving in tomorrow. We're doing our tech tomorrow, and then we're on stage on Thursday. So everything moves super fast, and you've got to be prepared. You've got to be organized, and you've got to be ready to roll, because there's no second chance there.
No, not at all. That's live theater, right?
True.
Okay, so I ask everyone this question, but what is Canadian theater, and how does Little Eden fit into the landscape of Canadian theater?
Right. I love this question, and I wish I had Ken Gass here to answer it for me. But no. No, it's... I don't know. I think Canadian theater is a state of mind. I think it's people coming together and playing and trying ideas that are weird and controversial, and bringing it all together. And our crew is wonderful, because we come from all corners of Canada, right? From the east to the west coast. We have people from Vancouver. We have people from Nanaimo. I'm from Nova Scotia. There's people from Toronto too. So there's all of these ideas and these landscapes and things coming together, and I think that's really curious. As for Little Eden fitting into all of it, there you go. I mean, it's across Canada. We've got people from all over the place working on this show, all kinds of different backgrounds, all kinds of different stories and things to say and tell and think. So I think, at the end of the day, that's really what Canadian theater's about.
Very cool. And is there any story? I mean, obviously, Little Eden is a story that you want to tell, but what kind of stories do you seek out and look for in your own creation process?
I love. There's something really wonderful about imagery in theater and framing in theater. I really love theater that's pushing the boundaries of what you can do on stage and what people think you should do on stage. Right. I think there's some really wonderful directors in the world that have been doing some really curious things. You look at New York, people like Robert Wilson and Richard Foreman, and all of these really doing things that you couldn't think were possible. And they're breaking boundaries and they're doing. I mean, that was years ago, but there's people still doing things like that. Like you must change your life. That was at Alumni. It was brilliant. I knew folks that worked on it. It was just wonderful. But things like that are what I'm really interested in, pushing the boundary of seeing what can be done and what should be done.
I see. So is there anything that maybe we can expect you to push the boundary on within Little Eden?
It's really the performance technique, I think, is something a little different than what you might see at the Fringe. I'm really pulling from the idea of Buffon a little bit and dark clown, and there's some really dark satire and some physicality and movement that might be a little jarring. But this is the thing, is it's kind of finding this nuance between funny and spooky and devastating, and how can we get to this amalgamation of all these things. And I think it'll be very interesting for people to take a look at.
Very exciting. Speaking of taking a look, I mean, people are wanting tickets. My head just goes to money. Where's your money going?
Where's it going? Right now, it's going into advertising. Right now, it's going into advertising. I was in a fortunate enough position that I could pay for it out of my own pocket. But also, we've been very fortunate that Heart House Theatre was able to partially sponsor the show. So with their support, we're able to really send this home for the last little bit here. And get your tickets, folks, because we're moving quick here.
Moving quick. And you guys are at the Factory Theatre Studio from July 2nd to 12th, correct? Oh, we got it. So you got to get your tickets to this thing. It sounds so incredible. And I'd love to hear about the support that you're receiving from Heart House, if you don't mind sharing a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. Heart House has been really wonderful to us. They reached out to us and offered their support, and we're very, very grateful. They were able to partner us up with a wonderful mentor yesterday. We got to work with Kevin Matthew Wong. If anybody knows him, wonderful. He did Benevolence. He's been all over the place. He's a really talented creator. And financially, they've been able to support us too, and they've been able to promote us. So thank you, Jillian. Thank you, Heart House. We appreciate you.
Now, is there anyone else you'd like to thank on the line?
Well, yes. Thanks to Karen Hines for taking a look at the script early on for me. I did workshops with her, and a lot of this, kind of has some of her world in it, so I appreciate her and I thank her. Ken Gass and the faculty here at the Center for Drama, Theatre and Performance Studies at U of T. They've been super wonderful. It's great. And my team, everybody that's worked on this has been so wonderful. And the support from our friends, our family, the community has been unbelievable. So thank you very much for all of that.
We got the Oscar. I love it. Now, is there anything else you'd like to share with our little camera audience over there?
Well, let's see. July 2nd to 12th, Factory Theatre Studio. We're all current U of T students or recently graduated U of T students. For a lot of us, this is our first time getting a chance to be on a stage like this, doing something like this, experimenting like this, and playing like this. So we're really grateful for these opportunities. And, there's no better place, really, than the Fringe to experiment and play with something like this. So, come and see it. We're there for 7 performances. You got time.
Lucky number 7. And what is it, 7 rings of hell? What's that? So what happens when you die? What do you think?
We don't know. We don't know. That's what we're trying to figure out. And that's what Little Eden's trying to figure out.
Well, if you've got an idea of what happens when you die, come check out Little Eden, because it sounds like such a very fun, interesting, spooky, eerie, heartfelt. There's so many words that are coming into my mind, percolating for me. Listen, I've had so much fun chatting with you. It's just been a pleasure. And I cannot wait to see this. July 2nd and 12th, once again, at the Factory Theatre Studio. Come check out Little Eden. This is Daphne St. Clair Ferguson, signing off.